YouTube live with me, Arun Sharma, and we are doing a session on previous year questions. We're continuing with the session on previous year questions on average allocation, and I hope you can hear me and you can see me. I'm just trying to check whether I'm live or not. Yeah, so I guess I can see myself live on YouTube now. So welcome everyone. Nice warm 31st January to all of you. And I'm just starting off with the questions for today. And we have done 2-3 questions from this slide that I've done in the last couple of sessions. So the first question I'll pick up today is this question. 3 maths classes XYZ take an algebra test. The average score of class X is 83. The average score of class Y is 76. And the average score of class Z is 85. So class X has an average of 83. Y has an average score of 76. And Z has an average score of 85. Now the question goes on and says that the average score of all the students in classes in X and Y together is 879. So given this information that we have, and to this information if I add the information that the average of class X and Y is 79, so the construct or the structure of the average score of X and Y, the mathematical construct of that is going to be the weighted average of 76 and 83, with the weights being the number of students in each class. So what you can do here, based on this understanding, is that you can use an allocation structure here to say that if you are getting the weighted average of 76 and 83 as 79, the ratio of weights here would be 4:3, and this ratio of weights would basically be the weights in the context of the number of students in class Y to the number of students in class X. The ratio of number of students in class Y to the number of students in class X would be 4:3. And likewise, when you use the second statement here, the average score of all students in Y and Z together is 81. If you use that, what you get is Y and Z together is 81. So Y is 76 and Z is an average of 85. And if the weighted average together is 81, the use of that statement is that the ratio of number of students in Y to the number of students in Z, the ratio of number of students in Y to the number of students in Z is 4:5. So what essentially happens here is that you get a ratio of number of students in X to number of students in Y to number of students in Z as 3:4:5. Number of students in X to number of students in Y to number of students in Z would be 3:4:5. So the question being asked is, what is the average for all 3 classes? तो all 3 classes का average अगर निकालना start करोगे तो you can do it through 3 into 83. plus 4 into 76 plus 5 into 85 डिवाइड बाय 12. और इसका कैलकुलेशन अगर तुमको फास्ट करना है तो व्हाट यू कैन डू is you can take 80 as the base, and if you take 80 as a base, each of these three numbers would end up becoming 3, minus 4 and plus 5. So your weighted average is going to be 9 minus 16 plus 25 divided by 12, which is going to be 34 minus 16, 18 by 12, which is 1.5. And because you've taken a base of 80, you need to add that base back to get an answer of 81.5. So this is an idea of how you reduce calculations in a weighted average situation, and you can apply this to any weighted average case. Suppose you're trying to find a weighted average of, so the answer here is B, which is 81.5. So welcome Arun to the class. So if you are trying to find a weighted average, let's say find, let's say there's a group, 3 groups, 5:7:6, with average heights of, or average weights of 72, 77 and 83. And you want to find the weighted average of these three together. So the weighted average of these three together will be 5 into 72 plus 7 into 77 plus 6 into 83 divided by 18. That's the normal calculation for the weighted average. But as I said, in this case, the opportunity that presents itself to you is to take the average, the base as 70. If you take the base as 70, this becomes 2, this becomes 7, and this becomes 13. So 5 into 2, 10, 7 into 7, 49, and 6 into 13, 78. You can see that your calculation becomes much easier if you do this. So 78 plus 49, 127 plus 10, 137 by 18, which is basically 711 by 18. So the answer in this case will be 7711 by 18. You can do this deviation or from the actual in the actual question to get this answer. In fact, there's another possibility that instead of taking 70 as the base, you could have taken 80 as the base, in which case this would have become minus 8, this would become minus 3, and this would become plus 3. So 5 into minus 8 is minus 40, 7 into minus 3 is minus 21, and 6 into plus 3 is 18. So minus 43 upon 18 is 7 by 18. So if you subtract, and this is minus, so from 80, if you subtract 7 by 18, you will get the same answer, 7711 by 18. So remember this is not just a calculation technique for this particular question. This is a calculation technique for any weighted average situation, specifically if the averages of the individual groups that you are taking a weighted average for, especially if the average of the individual groups are, so to say, especially if the average of the individual groups are what you can say as clustered around a certain number. तो उसमें हमेशा इसको याद रखना है, you can do this. Now इसमें एक और चीज कर सकते हैं. There was another option that you could have done in this question. When you had the initial reaction कि y का 4 है और x का 3 है, और y का एवरेज 76 है और x का एवरेज 83 है, तो ये जो 79 का जो एवरेज आ रहा है, the average you are getting of 79 is for 7 people. तो 79 with an average of 7, and when you get z as 5, so z being 5 with an average of 85, if you use alligation on this structure, you will again get 79 plus 5 into 6 by 12. So this will also give you the same answer as the previous question, as the previous process. Right, so let's look at the next question now. think this one, I'll pick up this question next now. The question says, bottle 1 contains a mixture of milk and water in the 7:2 ratio. Milk and water in the 7:2 ratio. Bottle 2 contains a mixture of milk and water in the 9:4 ratio. In what ratio, in what volume should the liquids in bottle 1 and 2 be combined in order to obtain a mixture of milk and water in the 3:1 ratio? So what ratio should we combine these to get a 3:1 milk water situation? So try this question first. I would want you to try this question first on your own, and then I'll come in and discuss this with you. Giving you a couple of minutes to think. इस situation में what's happening is that you've got two groups which you are mixing together in a particular this thing. Now there are various ways of solving this question. I hope you guys can see me. Or just to give you a few ideas. One of the ways in which you can do this question would be alligation by itself. One of the ways in which you can do this question is alligation. Sorry, I had lost connection on my phone, so I had to wait a little bit. So one of the ways you could do this is through alligation. But alligation का problem यहाँ पे ये है कि if you try to do it through percentage, it's going to be difficult. तो क्या है, suppose I give you a situation. Let's understand the structure of the situation. Let's say I give you a situation which says that you have in one mixture you got milk and water in the ratio 4:1, and the other mixture you got milk and water in the ratio 3:2. So in what ratio should I mix these two? What should be a ratio of mixing so that I get milk and water in the ratio 3:1. I get milk and water in the ratio 3:1 in my final mixture. So in this case, what you could do would be that you could actually work through this conversion. क्या conversion है? Let me show you there. The conversion you could use is that 4:1 means 80% milk and 3:2 means 60% milk. So if I use 60% milk and 80% milk, and the outcome I want is 3:1 milk water, which means 75% milk. So I want an outcome of 75% milk. So clearly the ratio of mixing in this case is going to be 5, that's the 5 here, and 15, which is the 15 here. So the ratio of mixing of milk and water is going to be 1:3. This becomes the solution to this question. So 1:3 में अगर mix करोगे तो answer आ जाएगा. But the problem of doing this question that way is that the ratios given in this question, the first ratio is 7:2. So if you convert it to percentage in terms of milk, the percentage conversion is 77.77%. So that's a difficult number to work with, and especially इसका तो कर भी सकते हो work. The second ratio has milk and water in the ratio 9:4. तो इसको अगर convert करोगे तो 9/13. This is a ratio that we don't even know in our normal repertoire in percentage terms. So this becomes difficult to handle with that process, with that approach. But what you could do instead of going with that approach is that you can think fractionally in this. So agar, if I go back to the previous question where I said 4:1 milk water in the first case and 3:2 milk water in the second case, तो उस case में I could have solved it this way. 3:2 means 3/5 milk fraction wise. 4:2 means 4/5 milk fraction wise. If my final outcome I need it to be 3:1, then my final outcome I need 3/4 milk fraction wise. So the ratio x is to y would turn out as 4/5 minus 3/4 is to 3/4 minus 3/5. So if I use this, so what will happen is यहाँ पे जो answer है, if I take 4/5 minus 3/4, the common part will be 20, and 5 4s are 16 and 4 5s are 15. 1/20 is to, यहाँ पे भी 20 रहेगा, और ये जो है इसका वैल्यू जो है ये 4 5s are 20 and 5 4s are 12. I take 20 common here. 3/4 minus 3/5, taking 20 common. This is 15 minus 12. So 3/20. So the 20 will cancel out. You will get the same ratio of 1:3. So of course, in this problem, using 60 and 80 here is much easier because it's much faster to do it through percentages in that question, because you had the option of doing it through percentages. So in this case, since you don't have that option, what you will have to do if you want to go through alligation is first perceive that whether 9:4 is a larger percentage, larger fraction for milk, or 7:2 is a larger fraction for milk. So 9/13 converts to around 60%. 60% to 70%, while 7:2 converts to 77%. So why we are doing this is we are trying to see which one should I put on the right side. तो 7/9 यहाँ पे आएगा, और 9/13 यहाँ पे आएगा, और 3/4 यहाँ पे आएगा, because that's the mixture I want. And with these numbers, with these three numbers, the next thought is going to be that if I want the ratio, I'll have to do a subtraction of 7/9 minus 3/4 on this side, and a subtraction of 3/4 minus 9/13 on this side. तो इस साइड अगर subtraction करूँ तो ये 36 होगा. That's the LCM of these two. 36 is the LCM of these two on this side, and 7 4s are 28, and this will be 27. Let me just see whether I got that right. 36, 4 times 28 and 9 times, yeah. So this on this side we have a 1 by 36 as the final outcome is 2. And here if I take the ratio, it's 52, the LCM of 4 and 13. And यहाँ पे न्यूमरेटर में 39 आएगा, 13 threes are, and 9 fours are 36. So 3 by 52 आएगा यहाँ पे. So 1 by 36 is to 3 by 52 is the ratio of mixing. Now since the question being asked is the 7:2 is bottle 1 and 9:4 is bottle 2, you'll have to invert this. So the ratio will move to the ratio will move to 3 by 52 is to 1 by 36. Right, and this you can convert into a proper ratio by multiplying both sides by 52 into 36. तो यहाँ पे you will get an answer of 108 is to 52, which is 27 is to 13, and hence option B is the right answer. So this was one of the ways in which you could solve this question. एक और रास्ता इसको करने का, और वो है, I hope that's clear to all of you. Yeah, can you hear me, Mukesh? Yeah, I hope this is clear to all of you. Now I'll just talk a little bit about Dipanshu's before I tell you the second the other method to solve this. I'll just talk a little bit about Dipanshu's message here about Unacademy Plus. So Unacademy Plus is a platform of Unacademy where you get access to live classes by the top educators, 30 plus hours every day, live hours every day, from 36 plus educators and top educators. New courses are published every month, and you can join Unacademy Plus on the subscription model. And if you do join Unacademy Plus on the subscription model gives access to all the live classes and all the sessions of all the top educators, not only in the live format, but also in a recorded form for close to a year after the session is over. Close to 2 years actually from the time you've taken the session. So all your preparation needs that you need are getting fulfilled on Academy Plus. And if you do decide to take a subscription, you can take a 1-month subscription, a 3-month subscription, a 6-month subscription. You can even take a 12-month subscription or a 24-month subscription if you want to bed in for the long term. And my promo code for Unacademy Plus is arun.yt. You can use this promo code to join Unacademy Plus. You'll get a 10% discount at the time of payment if you use this promo code. You'll get a 10% discount on the existing fees being offered on the website. So please do use this promo code and join in on Unacademy Plus. Would love to have some of you in my live classes on Unacademy Plus. Now let's come back to the second way of doing this question. So the second way of doing this question is you could actually, I mean this of course algebraically is much more difficult. You have two ratios, 7:2, 9:4, right? So if you take x liters of the first and y liters of the second, x liters of the first and y liters of the second, then the total milk you will get is 7/9x plus 9 by 13y, and the total water you will get will be 2 by 9x plus 4 by 13y. And since this is the milk to water ratio that I'm writing, this has to be 3 by 1. So I can solve this to get x is to y by transposing the denominator of the left hand side onto that side and this 1 into this side. If I do that calculation, I'll get something like, I'm just putting the question behind the window here. So I'll get something like 7 by 9x plus 9 by 13y is equal to 6 by 9x. I've taken this to that side and I'm multiplying by 3 to get the x and y coefficients here, plus 12 by 13y. So now if I take the x on one side and the y on the other side, I'll get 1 by 9x on this side and 3 by 9, 1 by 9x on this side and 3 by 13 y on that side. So if I want the x by y ratio, this will be 1 by 9 divided by, it would be 3 by 13 divided by 1 by 9, and if I reconvert this will be 27 by 13, and that's the answer. But as you can see, too many steps involved in this, a lot of writing involved in this. The writing is much higher, so much longer time, and a lot of uncertainty in between. If you make any one mistake through the calculations of all this writing, you'll not score the marks here that this question you deserve to score in this question. So इसलिए ये process है, you should know this process, but if you can visualize the allegation process through the weighted average picture, and also through the usage of what you can call as the fractions, that will be a much better way to solve this. Right? The third way to do this could also be options. You could also try to do this question through options straight. और option से अगर try करोगे तो क्या होगा कि ये 7:2 ratio, the first mixture, which is the 7:2 ratio, in all the 4 cases it is 27 liters. In all the 4 cases it's 27 liters, right? So in this in each of these 4 cases, you're going to get 21 milk and 6 water in all these 4 cases. You get 21 milk and 6 water in all these 4 cases. So when you think about 9:4 and you try to think about 14, 13, 16 and 18, the first option that comes to mind to check is going to be 13, because this is the only case in which you get an integer value for the milk and water values from this mixture. So if you do that, 9:4, 13 liters milk and water, you'll get 9 milk, 4 water. So the net result is going to be 30 milk, 10 water. And it's pretty obvious that this is the only option that will give you the answer. So this is the third way of solving this question. This is the third method of doing this question that you can use. And of course, this is one of the best ways of doing it again. चलो एक और question देख लेते हैं. We'll wind up with that. Look at this question and try to solve this. So this question says that the average height of 22 toddlers increased by 2 inches when 2 of them leave this group. So what happens is, if you take the average height of 22 toddlers as x, then when two people leave this group, you are left with 20 toddlers with an average height of x plus 2. That's the meaning of this sentence, right? So the difference between the sum of this 22x and the sum of this 20x plus 2, the difference between these two will be the weight of the two toddlers. So you'll get, if you use this, you'll get 2x minus 40 is the weight of the two toddlers. This is the reaction to the first statement. Now, ahead in the question, you are given the same thing from a different angle. The average height of these two toddlers is 1/3 the average height of the original 22. That means for these two toddlers, the question is saying that the average height is x by 3. So the sum of the weights of these two toddlers will be 2x by 3. So we can equate these two because both the methods are giving you, or both the angles, whether I'm looking at it from 2x by 3 angle or I'm looking at it by 2x minus 40 angle, both of them are giving me the average height, the height of the the weight of the two toddlers. Sorry, the height of the two toddlers only. Doesn't matter. You don't need to bother too much about whether it's weight or height. It's not going to matter much in this question. So all I have to do now is equate these two and solve for x. It's a very simple question. Equate these two and solve for x. And when I do that, I get 2x minus 2x by 3. I'll get 2x minus 2x by 3, which is essentially 6x by 3 minus 2x by 3, which is 4x by 3, is equal to 40. So naturally, the value of x is going to be 30. This is the value of the original height of the 22 toddlers. Please remember, this is 30 for this. The question is asking of the average height of the remaining 20 toddlers. So the question is not asking you for x, the question is asking you for x plus 2. So you have to recognize that and not mark 30 as the answer, because otherwise you'll go wrong. In the last step in the question, a lot of people did that here. The correct answer is going to be 32. So just make sure that you evaluate everything in the question and keep close track of everything that's happening in the question before you mark these answers. Right? So chalo, I'll stop here. I guess I hope you guys enjoyed this. Just a reminder, use my promo code ARUNYT, Arun.YT, to join Unacademy Plus, and I'll see you there with my courses on data interpretation, logical reasoning, and also previous year CAT question courses based on quants, etc. that I'm doing on Unacademy Plus. So you'll get a 10% discount. Do try to take a longer subscription so that you get access to all the courses and you don't miss out on missing out a course that is going across 3 months or whatever, right? Chalo. So thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks for listening in. I'll see you soon on this channel. Bye-bye for now. God bless. And all the best for CAT 20. Bye-bye.